Forward to the. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, happy February 26th, the last Monday in February. Such an exciting night. We are going to be graced by the presence of Kelly Collins and Cameron. I never remember Cameron's last name. Cameron Amazingness. We'll call her Cameron Amazingness. She is in the DIQ department and is the one that worked with Faith in DIQ. When you move into DIQ, you work with somebody from corporate. Like they are there to help guide you through. And so not only do you get the support of your senior sales director and lots of other sales directors, but corporate also is there to help guide you. And then through that first year as a sales director, as a leader, you get that attention. And it comes in the way of these quarterly challenges. And Kelly told Faith, gosh, 6 months ago, if you hit all 4 of those challenges as a new unit, we'll fly to St. Louis and have dinner with you. And so that is so exciting. So Faith tried to get me in on it and they're like, nope, it's just for you. So I was a little disappointed. I didn't get to be a part of it. But now, I mean, aren't we so curious as to what they talked about at their dinner? Like, I'm so curious, so exciting. But we're going to get to hear from them in a little bit when they come on. So I want to do some announcements and then we're going to do some chatting and some training that will hopefully move you into action these last 4 days of February. So announcements, ladies, the catalogs are out. You might know this because you've received yours. This is the best time to connect with your customers. When they have these catalogs, every one of your customers that has a catalog, you want to make a physical phone call and follow up with a text to make sure they receive their catalog, to make sure they haven't missed the sample of that perfume. Ladies, what do you think of this perfume? What do you think? I love it so much. And it's interesting. I feel like lots of people love it, and perfume is kind of, you can get, some people love it, some people don't, but I feel like this has such mass appeal. I love it so much. So you're going to want to make sure. Do you love the bottle too, Tamara?
I do. It's just so pretty.
So pretty and it's
I
easy.
love the shape of it and
Uh-huh.
the color. And
Yeah,
I love lit. I just love it all. I love the smell of it.
all of it.
Like I don't usually put perfume on every day because I don't go anywhere. I put this on every day because I love it.
Yep, yep, absolutely. So making sure, so ladies, you could have a challenge with your customers to say, like, I need to get feedback on this perfume. I need you to rate it. And every person that gives me their opinion, like, just text me back your opinion. Tell me what you think. Put them in a drawing for something, for one of the new sunscreen, but something to get some interaction going. Okay, so some people have done scavenger hunts. This can be a type of scavenger hunt, but getting their feedback on this perfume, giving them a reason to do it, and then that's going to create some interaction. And for some people, they're going to smell it and go, oh, I need this. Like, put one of those in the order for me because I love that. So, okay, so these are out. These are out to all your customers. Some people have not gotten them, remember, you can send the link. Every email that you get from me at the beginning of the month gives a link to the lookbook that you can email out to people. Like you can email it and it shows up as a PDF on their phone. So announcement number 1, these are out. Announcement number 2, month end is Thursday. We do have an extra day in February because of leap year. That's pretty exciting. So February 29th, month ends. So you want to be paying attention to how much you have in this month. I know that all of you, when you place an order, you get an email, or I'm sorry, you get a text message from Faith, and I share the same assistant, and she watches numbers to make sure you know where you are. If you're right below reactivating, you'll get a text message that says, hey, you're super close to reactivating. If you're close to getting these this month, are those so fun? And they're so light, like you can't even feel them. They're so light and fun. these are the earrings. She will also let you know how close you are. So pay attention to that. I know Bernie replied to her text message and said, oh my goodness, I'm going to reach out to my customers and have that as a target to hit. So, ladies, I just want to talk real quick about that 600 earning earrings, earning whatever it is that Mary Kay gets. There's a reason that Mary Kay puts an incentive at that amount. And the reason is there's several reasons. But when you have a team, like many of you have at least one team member, Tamara and Jessica are both on here in their beautiful red jackets. They have 3 or more team members. When you put yourself in a position where you have 5 active team members and you place a 600 wholesale order, you're going to get the highest commission. Mary Kay is going to pay you the highest commission. So it's just something that is a great habit to get into as a consultant, as you're building a team, as you're building a business to go. My goal every month is to sell 1,200 in Mary Kay. So I can always have a 600 wholesale. It's 300 a week. And most importantly, you're profiting $600 every month, which we know every single one of us probably has at least $600 in. Where did that expense come from? You know, like surprise expenses. If you're a great budgeter, there's always those incidentals that, where did that come from? So that is, it's fun to get the fun jewelry and earrings, but it's also a really smart business strategy with the way Mary Kay pays us. So, okay, does that make sense? Anybody have questions on that? Okay, all right. I'm going to see some of you in Michigan on Saturday. I'm so excited to see you at the Michigan conference. If you are watching this replay, there are still openings. And so if you want to join us on Saturday, you can still join us. If you live in another part of the country and you want to hop on a plane or drive up to Michigan, you are welcome to come. But it's going to be an incredible conference. I can't wait. I'm excited to be back in Michigan. I'm excited to be at a conference that's being put on that hasn't happened in a long time. So that's happening this Saturday. So I can't wait to see those of you that are going to be there. Okay. Those are the main announcements. I do want to recognize Tamara in her red jacket because she did earn that red jacket this last week. And we will be celebrating her at the second meeting in March, along with anybody else who is in their red jacket by the end of February. So Tamara, I am guessing you would love to have it be a party with you being the only one there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tamara, I would tell everyone about just your experience of getting to red, and you'll share more in the second, but just like right now, hot into your red, what is one thing that you just want to share with people, maybe as an encouragement to keep going?
Don't give up. Just don't quit. So many times you and Faith kept reminding me, you're doing the work, just keep doing the work. God knows the time that's right, and God, when the right time is right, God will make it happen. And I won this jacket for free from Mary Kay last spring, and it's just been hanging in my closet. I even took it to seminar with me, like praying that some miracle would happen and I'd get to like wear it that week, which that didn't happen. I mean, it took a long time, and I just kept doing and just kept, I didn't give up.
Yeah.
And it happened. So
yes. And that was, so talk about those times when you were disappointed because you did bring it to seminar and you were doing the work to have it completed. And there was some possibility that you might have been in it by seminar. So it made sense to bring it. So talk about those times when you're like, dang it, I put the work in and I didn't get what I wanted. I'm not wearing my red jacket at seminar. So talk about that.
Instead of just, I mean, I definitely had my pity parties and I was definitely disappointed and upset, but I always came to you and to Faith and just looked for that positive encouragement and that support, that like that reminder that I wasn't doing something wrong. I wasn't making mistakes. I just needed just stay the course and trust the process and just trust God's timing. So I think just staying connected to those, to you, you know, as coaches, to encourage me that it will happen and you're doing things the right way. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's
really
definitely a don't give up.
Yeah. And it's really interesting how when things aren't happening the way we want, it can be really easy to want to just kind of hang out with people that aren't doing a whole lot. And not that they're bad people, but are just kind of, they don't have anything that they're shooting for. And so
Mhm.
for you to intentionally say, I need to put myself in the space of people that are going to help me keep my brain in the right spot. Because the activity you were doing, but it's this up here that we have to keep in the right spot. Because we can
Yeah,
keep doing the activity, but if we've got kind of a defeatist attitude and we're overwhelmed, then that's not gonna, people are gonna feel that. So
it's that
keeping, yeah,
emotional management.
mm-hmm, yeah,
Because we had a whole training. I know you did a fantastic training on that. You know, there's time management, there's money management, there's product knowledge and training and all of that, but there's also just emotional management and
yeah, yep,
knowing that that there's peaks and valleys and ups and downs and that's normal and that's okay.
yep, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Tamara, we're so proud of you and we can't wait to celebrate you on that second meeting and we can't wait to see who else we're going to celebrate at that time. All right. Well, I asked Erin Moore to share. So a couple of weeks ago, I asked Erin if she would be open to learning how to meet people when you're out and about. Erin started her business during the pandemic. And so everything that we had to do in that time was all virtual. And so now we've got this opportunity to get out of our houses and meet people in kind of old school Mary Kay. And so what I so appreciate about Erin, every time I ask her if she's up for an adventure, she always says yes. She always says yes. She's like, okay. And Erin, if it's okay, I'm going to share this. When we were driving to the town that we went to, she said, Beth, I'm kind of nervous. Like, I'm like, you know what, Erin? Me too. I have not done this in a while. I've worked virtually for a very long time. I had to work virtually. We all had to work virtually when I was going through personal stuff. It was just everything it had to be just right here. And so I was a little bit nervous too. So I asked Erin if she would share a little bit about our journey that day, what she learned, and what unfolded that day when we went on our adventure to Sedalia, Missouri. So I'm going to spotlight you, Erin.
Okay. So I think the words I actually told Beth when we were about 5 minutes from Sedalia, which is only about 40-minute drive from Concordia, was not I'm nervous. I said I'm scared and I think I'm going to throw up. I had been with Beth on one of these adventures. Well, when she texts me and says, "Are you up for an adventure?" I say yes, but I never know what it is. She never tells me first what we're doing. So I might think we're taking a fun trip to see Faith go get her new car or whatever, or I never know. So anyway, I've learned, the first thing I've learned is you just don't say no to Beth because you don't know what you're going to get. So but she told me too, she said that the first time she went out, it was kind of scary and it was yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking because that's just not something I've done. I mean, I've shared with people I already know, but I haven't shared with strangers. And I had went with Beth maybe 2 years ago when we had dropped off some donations at another women's shelter in Warrensburg, and we had went, and I had just kind of taken a back row seat and watched her do it, and she made it look so easy. I mean, so easy, and I was not confident that it would be that easy for me. So we started out, we went in and I watched Beth do the first one, and it was kind of funny. We walked into JCPenney and we kind of like followed this salesperson like around, and she just never looked at us like she was good, like what we're doing. She didn't notice we were following her. And finally she stopped, and then Beth talked to her and she was very receptive. And Beth asked all the questions like, have you ever used Mary Kay before? We're honoring working women. Would you like a gift? And she's like, well, sure. And then she gave her a skincare sample and a lip sample, and she asked if she would be willing to talk with her in a couple of days after she tried it. And here was a little copy of the survey of like, what she thought of the product. And she said yes. And so anyway, I think after the first one, I think we went into one other one and I let Beth do all the work and talking. And then the second one, there were actually two ladies. So as Beth took one, I'm like, I'm taking the other one. And I just kind of did it. And so what I learned from that was that I am more confident about it than I thought I would be. I've already known, and if you've ever talked with me, you know that I'm fine with talking. Like I will talk to anyone and I will make a friend on an elevator, which annoys my family sometimes, but it was just that easy. I had the kind of speech that I wanted to say, and I kind of was learning from Beth how to read the room, like when to say, would you like a gift? And then if the person wasn't really receptive, Beth said, well, we have some of this, or we have skincare sample, or we have lip sample, or we have chocolate. And some people just said they wanted chocolate, like they weren't interested. And so I was kind of learning how to read the room and know when to like let it go and move on. And so that was something that I needed to see. I needed to see that Beth wasn't always successful, because I felt like she was, you know what I mean? Like in my head, I thought she knows what she's doing, and she does know what she's doing, but I needed to know that people would say no to Beth too. And it wasn't just me when they would say no. So that was actually a good thing. And she was actually telling me a story about Crystal Schrader, who is also a consultant in our unit. And when she was still in Michigan, right, Beth? Was that right?
Yep.
And she said that they met for Crystal's lunch break, and they went and they actually had several no's. And looking back, Crystal told Beth that that was probably the best thing that could have happened, because she needed to know that how to handle those no's, and that Beth was even getting those no's, like it's okay. So we did that, and it was much easier than I thought. I learned that if you lead it off with, we're honoring working women, would you like a gift? They say yes. They always say yes. And you can give them a choice of what they want. And let's see.
Hey, Erin.
Yes.
I'm gonna pause. We're gonna like leave everybody like a cliffhanger for the next
Okay.
part.
Okay.
Because Faith has just jumped on with Kelly and Carmen. And
Hello.
let me spotlight. Woo! Hello.
We just had lunch at this really cool little trendy little spot in there. I'll post pictures later. It was fun. Very fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have our 2 units are on here. Our parent unit, the Soaring Eagle. Soaring Eagles, can you wave? Yeah. And then we also have our Rise and Shine unit. Woo! That's this line down here. Awesome. And yeah, they worked hard. They're amazing. And we did it. We did it. Yes. I got to tell them all about our brand ambassadors, which we will rebrand that naming, but and how many of them are actually interested in starting businesses and are already getting going. So for those of you who are interested in leadership, when you become a director in getting up there, you get to work with these 2 ladies. How cool is that? I mean, we work with them all the time. I mean, we see Kelly's face all the time. The gorgeous face it is too. But you get to actually work with these ladies. So could I interview you real quick? Let's start with Carmen. Carmen, when we become directors, we work with you.
Yes.
What kind of resources does the company provide to people who are new directors?
Yeah, well, as new directors, you work with me throughout, or I work with you throughout your whole first year as a brand new sales director. So we don't want you to feel like you're lost. And we work closely with you to make sure that you go on to achieve all the new director programs, just like Faith did, and someday come back to St. Louis to have dinner with you or wherever that you live. But we're here to help you strategize and help you grow in your first year, because that's what's important, that when you become a sales director, you go on to grow that unit and achieve great things. And so we are here to work with you and hold your hand throughout that whole first year.
And it was awesome. We just had our lunch. And so we actually got to kind of brainstorm what kind of things might be helpful during that first year to make it even more successful. And, I got to hear from them about some of the things that they've been working on. Ooh, sorry, it's a little cold out here. And then Kelly, awesome. Could you tell everybody what kind of people are you looking for to be leaders in our company?
People that want to pass on the opportunity, people that first and foremost, and we had this conversation tonight, what is your why? Because you have to be doing it for you first. You can't do it for anyone else. And that why may be a new car, as Faith was sharing her story. It may be extra tuition, $200. Loved her story. So to me, it's the leaders who first know their why and then wanting to pass on that why to others and make it their own. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guarantee you two ladies that you would love working with this crew. They are,
I can tell.
they're super fun. They're passionate. One of my favorite things about these girls, that they're all looking at your faces right now, is that they love women. They want to make women feel special and enrich their lives. And so it's really easy to come on board in Mary Kay and to grow as a leader when you realize the impact you have on people's lives, that you get to enrich their lives. And that is so awesome. And then you get to enrich your family's life and make things happen for your family. So awesome. Well, these two are going to get back on to a hotel and back on planes.
Yeah. Back to Dallas tomorrow. And we look forward to seeing and celebrating each and every one of you at seminars. So let's push this out. Have a great finish here and enjoy career conference if you're attending career conferences, and just keep passing it along.
Exactly.
So, and congratulations to Faith.
Yay.
Delightful to be with
Awesome.
her.
Thanks, Rise and Shine Unit. Thanks, Soaring Eagles. We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Beth.
Oh, does anyone have any questions before we hang up the
Oh.
phone here?
Yeah. Ladies, you have like, I need, any questions?
I see Tamara's hand. Tamara, you're muted, honey.
I wasn't ready for this. Best advice for maintaining momentum when because there's peaks and valleys in everybody's life. And when you go down in a valley and you have to come back up, what's your personal best advice for coming back up out of the valleys and hitting those peaks? And then when you get those peaks and coming back down, like getting in and out of those.
Yeah, well, I think Kelly said it best, knowing your why keeps you motivated, and keeps your team knowing their own why as well. It keeps them motivated and working all together. So I think that's the most important thing, because that's always what you come back to.
Yeah, and I would say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Direct sales is a world of peaks and valleys. It's, to me, the consistency. How do you just keep chugging along? There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, but if you can figure out that path to keep trucking along, which really has to do with bringing new people into the business, passing on the opportunity, that's, to me, I think you kind of get that slow and steady wins the race. And I've always felt that. So that's what I would share.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Great question.
I have a
Any other
question.
questions?
I do. Yes, I have a question. So we are seeing lots of news from Nathan about the incentive to build national areas. And we have that dream for our units to build a national area. But Kelly and Carmen, I think it would be great for our consultants to hear, like, that's a word that, like, what does that even mean? What would be something that you would share to consultants that would help them get excited about this idea of building a national area? And why is that important? Why is this a big deal in Mary Kay right now?
Well, it's important because we need more. I think you all heard Ryan say it. We need more leaders in this business. We need more people in this business. We had a great conversation last night about you can, be a mom, you can be a sister, a grandmother, an aunt, whatever it may be, and still balance this with your personal life. And so this whole march to more NSTs is because we need more leaders in this company, bottom line. And, people constantly ask me, how can I help you? It's like, go be a leader, help us bring more women into this business. And I think where we sit right now, it's, Ryan Rogers doesn't have to do this. The fact that we have Mary Kay Ash's grandson stepping up, leading this company and wanting it for the next 60 years, and all the tools the investment in social media and beyond that he's giving is, to me, it's a personal responsibility I have as a corporate person, and Carmen as well, to keep sharing this message with all of you, that we do keep passing it on, that we are here for another 60 years. And there's such, I have to tell you all, ladies, I think there's such a need and desire for this business. I think there's so many women out there who aren't happy in what they're doing from COVID, had to go back to jobs. You know, all these companies, they're pulling people back now. We're going to go back, I believe, to, I mean, we are already in a 4-day work week, but, you know, a lot of people don't like what they're doing. So what is the gift you can give someone every single day? It's Mary Kay and the opportunity. And then it's up to them what they go and do with it, as Faith shared with us today. So that's what I would say.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly.
And I think ditto that, ditto that, especially the legacy. You're building a legacy when you're building that national area for yourself, for other women. I myself am a Mary Kay kid. My mother worked at Mary Kay corporate for over 20 years. And if there weren't those, you all out here building that next generation of Mary Kay, I can't even imagine where I'd be right now. Where would I be working if that legacy didn't keep building? So you're building a legacy for each other. Faith talked about her daughters being in Mary Kay, right? It's keeping it going, like Mary Kay said.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, my little Texas girl's probably freezing. I can handle that being
All
a
right.
listener. But,
Thank you, Kelly.
oh, such
Thanks,
an honor.
everyone.
Great
Take
to
care.
meet
Bye-bye.
Let's see you all at this dinner next.
Absolutely.
That's right. Woohoo.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, how exciting was that? That's so cool. So amazing. So amazing. Okay, so kind of put a little hold on to those of what you just heard, because I want Erin to finish sharing about, because it's going to totally connect to what we're going to talk about with what we just heard from Kelly and Carmen and Faith. So, all right, so Erin had us. We've met some people. She learned that people don't always say yes to you because they said no to me. And that's important to see. So Erin, pick up from where you left off.
Okay, so then a week later, well, one of the places that we went into when we went out to get leads was a clothing store, and the lady saw us come in. We asked her about working women, and then she saw we were with Mary Kay, and immediately she like pulled us over, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I have this an event the night before Valentine's Day. It's a Galentine's Day event. Would you guys like to have a table here?" And we're like, I mean, we didn't even think about it. We're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And we had the best time. So we decorated our little table all pink. You might have seen it on Beth's page. And we did the lipstick kissing personality game, which was a huge hit. And then they got to put their name in a little bowl for a drawing about count how many candy hearts there were. So we had their information from that. And then we also had a little white sheet that had like, have you used Mary Kay before? Your name, your number, your email. Would you like to meet in person or on the phone or virtually or whatever? And so we just kind of divided up those leads and contacted them. And Beth and I touched base last week, towards the end of the week. And she asked me how I was doing on my leads. And I'll be honest, I have only heard back from one person from the when we went out to meet people. And I heard back from one person that I contacted after the event. But she said that's about right. You get 1 in 10. And so I was able to skin skincare samples out to both of those leads. And I've touched base with one since then. And I'm still trying to find a time to meet with the other person. She's a younger gal. She's in college and, you know, her life's just really busy. But to hear Beth tell me that, hey, wait, because I was worried. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What am I saying wrong? And she's like, nope, 1 in 10 is about what you can expect. So I said, okay. So that was good for me to hear and learn firsthand and like write down. Like I wrote everything Beth said down so that I can keep reminding myself, like at the top of my paper of leads, it says 1 out of 10. So I know that if I want to get 1 yes, I need to contact at least 10 people. And that kind of goes for the same when I'm having a workshop or a party or whatever we want to call it too. I don't get an order from everybody. But I do get to send samples out to more than that. And then I can touch base with more people after that. I don't know if I always get a sale, but at least I'm putting it out there and trying. the in-person table was fun. People were kind of coming in to shop because they had some good sales that night, and we were just kind of drawing them over with the lipstick, like I said, and we were warm chatting them, and we found out a lot about their life. And some of those women were a lot of fun. I mean, like they were a lot of fun. One lady, she was like, emptied out her whole purse and showed us all the different makeup she had and lipsticks, and we were like, oh, okay, so it was just a lot of fun. And I think I perfected my warm chatting. Beth said that I did okay at it, which sometimes I'm not sure I'm always like, I've got a lot to say, but I'm always not sure I'm saying the most important things, if that makes any sense. But anyway, it was a great experience, and I would do it again. And I have been more confident now because when Beth and I talked then last week at our coaching call, she said, now you need to think about how you can do this on your own when you just go into the store for something, or when you just, go to the vet clinic, or, whatever, wherever you're going, find a reason to give someone a sample and ask them if they would give you their opinion on something. So I have taken that to heart this week, and I have done it one time a day since we last talked.
Awesome. Good. That's
I mean,
good.
and
That's
sometimes, like when I took the new dog to the vet clinic, I did not look amazing. I'm going to be honest. I looked rough,
Mhm.
but I just said, hey, I have this in my purse. Would you be willing to do this? And she's like, yeah, sure, I would do that. So I'm like, okay. But so yes, it's important to look at your Mary Kay best, but they will say yes, even if you don't. So
Right. That's true. If they're getting a
So,
present, that's exactly right. Yeah.
okay.
What questions does anybody have for Erin? Anyone have any questions for her? Anything that she said, or any affirmation you want to give to Erin? Anything?
What was your, you said you had like the words that you wanted to say. What were those words? What was your script that you kind of had in your head and obviously adjusted as you read the room, but what was your script that you went in
Like
with?
when we were walking in and getting leads just from random people.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just walked in and we said, hi, we're honoring working women today. Are you working hard? And that usually got a chuckle. And like the hairdressers were like, yeah, we're always working hard. And then one lady kind of giggled and she goes, well, I mean, I guess. And then we just said, that we were giving out these gifts, and we were from Mary Kay, and Beth had her little basket, and I had some envelopes with mine in there, but she basically let them pick a lipstick sample out of it. And then she'd ask them about their skincare. And, we told them a little bit about it, and then we got their phone number right away. Like we wrote it down, and I, like on my notes, like I would write their name, what store they were at, about how old they were, and what sample I gave them, if I gave them combo to orally or normal. And then I texted them that night still an order of application, a little picture of an order of application that I sent them. And then we just chatted. I mean, like we went to a Western boot store and we ended up talking about cowboy boots and how we probably needed some pink boots for seminar. I mean, like it once you start a conversation and it's easy, it just kind of leads you where it wants to go. So that was just the initial script though. Would you like to give me your opinion on this new skincare set that we have? So that's kind of just
Proud
what
of
we
you,
did.
'cause
And,
you told me how nervous you were. So good
oh
job.
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
really proud of
I
you.
had told Travis that morning, I said, I don't want to go. And my husband's answer to everything is just suck it up and do it. I mean, literally, he doesn't listen to anything. And you're just like, he goes, you'll have a great time with Beth, go. And I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Good job.
It is, and that is, and I told Erin the first time somebody invited me to do what I taught Erin to do, it was a friend of mine, and it was before I'd ever earned a Cadillac. And it was my friend that had been in a Cadillac for years, and she invited me to learn how to go out and honor working women. And my first response was, I'm good. And I was like, I'm not good. She's in a pink Cadillac and I want to be in a pink Cadillac. So why would I not take her offer? Like anytime somebody wants to teach you something that they know it, like you always say yes. So I said yes. And I went out and I felt the exact same way. And I just watched her and I watched people tell her no. And I watched her. And so it is that feeling. So as we think tonight about right now where all of us are, and if we think about our why and where we want to be, there's this feeling of I don't want to between where we are now and where we want to go. And what I know, and because this is what's so interesting, when Aaron and I went out that day, I came home and it was a great day. We met great people. There are some days where you don't meet a lot of great people. They're just not out. They're like, are all the great people at home? I think they are, so there are days like that. We met a lot of really wonderful people. Getting that event, that was awesome. Like that was all awesome. But what I remember when I came home and I told Tom, I said, it was so great to be out sharing Mary Kay with people. And it doesn't have to it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be when you're at the grocery store on just your everyday life, when you're going to get your hair cut, when you're taking your dog to the groomer. But what Kelly said is women want what we have, including connection and what we offer them. Like they want what we have. And there's going to be this feeling though, because it's different if we haven't done anything like this, if we haven't reached out of our comfort zone, whatever that is, we are going to have to make a decision to go, I'm doing this before the feeling of great comes. Like the great feeling came that night, like when Aaron was talking to Travis at dinner and I'm talking to Tom at dinner and we're talking about our days and sharing what happened. And next to the following Tuesday, when we were driving back to Sedalia with our car full of Valentine's stuff, we had no idea that that's where our next, and so that next Tuesday, we're setting up our table. That wouldn't have happened if we wouldn't have decided we're going out. We're going out. We had to get it. I don't care what it feels like. So, I'll tell you what, from the one person, so I've had 2 bookings from, Aaron and I each had 10 total leads between when we were out the one week and then the table. So we each had 10 leads. So I got a booking that actually turned into a party yesterday. It was 3 women. I went back to Sedalia, this town, met at their church after church, and they loved it so much. They all got the skincare. It was close to a $500 party that came from these 3 women. One of them is in charge of the women's ministry at her church. And she's like, we would love to have you come back and do something. So I drove home, and you know what I'm going to tell you? You know what I didn't want to do yesterday when it was 71 and sunny and I got home from church and knew I had to fast pack the car to drive to Sedalia? I didn't want to go do that party. I was excited, but I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to put shorts on. I just want to hang out in the yard. But I was like, nope, I have this party at 1:30. And by the time I got there, when I was driving home later that afternoon, I was so glad I went. So that feeling, it will not go away. You guys, I've done this for 20 years and it will pop up all the time. Whenever you're on a mission to get somewhere else, there's going to be this little thing in your brain that even if you're like, Beth, you had this party of 3 people that were so excited. But my thought driving home from church, because I had gone with my husband where he preached at a church 30 minutes farther away from where the party was. So we'd already done this big trip in the morning. I just wanted to hang out at home. I was like, nope, put on your Mary Kay skirt, put on your beauty coat, pack up the car. And it was so worth it. It's always worth it. It is always worth it. It is always worth it. So when you listen to Kelly, when I asked her that question about what's the big deal about building a national area and why is this a big deal? I think the thing that we all forget about, that I forget about, is that if all of us stop at the feeling of, I just don't want to do it, the company doesn't continue. Corporate can't do our job. They can't be the sales force. Well, what they could do is they could just put it all online. It could just be a buyer's club and everybody could just buy Mary Kay and there would be no more business opportunity for any of us. It would just be Mary Kay, right? And so the only way Mary Kay continues is if we keep sharing this product and keep making a decision when those feelings come up of, I don't want to do it. That's the only way. That's the only way it keeps going. And I will tell you, when we, even in the conversations that Aaron and I had when we were doing the table, the joy that it brings just in chit chatting with women, like just making connections, letting them dump their purse on the table, letting them show you their thing, letting them tell you about their daughter's volleyball and basketball and softball career, like showing interest in people. It makes a difference. Like a positive, like somebody having a positive interaction with someone at the grocery store, it could change their whole day. Like it could change the trajectory of their whole day. So when I want to ask you, I want to find out what are the things that right now that you're like, I just haven't been doing it because I just haven't wanted to. It's just been uncomfortable. Can you guys think of what those things are? And if so, and then what are the things that you do that help you push past it? Like if you have a tip of going, this is how I go, okay, I'm just doing it. What helps you do it? Anybody want to be vulnerable and share the thing that you're like, oh, I just know I haven't been doing it? Or a tip. Yeah, Tamra.
Calling customers about the lookbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Being on the phone, as much as I love to talk, and you all know I love to talk, obviously. And once I'm on the phone, it's perfectly fine. But I get so nervous getting on the phone and making that phone call. Like it has just always been a thing for me. I get so nervous. But like you said, once it's done later, I feel so great. And I
Right.
feel so glad that I did it. Regardless of what the outcome is, because usually there's some kind of outcome, even if it's just a good conversation with someone, there's an outcome, and yet I get so afraid to call. So,
Oh,
but again, I think it goes back to that, staying connected and like using the incentives that you and Faith give as directors and that the company gives us as motivation to push through to that. After last year, I made a commitment that I was going to hit the 600 every month in sales. And there's been a couple months this year where it's been really hard. And I've been at this time of the year and I'm like a couple hundred away. And it's like, I can't just buy it. Like I have to sell it.
right.
And I have, I drug my feet all stinking month long, being nervous about, and just wanting it to just come.
Mhm.
And then I had to work hard those last few days to make it happen. But that incentive of that goal and not wanting to lose that consistency for the whole year was the motivation I needed to make myself do it. And so far I've done it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's my fear and that's my motivation.
right. That's good. Well, and that was really helpful because it is important to know what is it? Like what is the thing that makes me go, oh, that I stop at? And sometimes, ladies, just saying it out loud like takes away its power. Like, okay, yeah, like saying it, okay, it makes me nervous to get on the phone. Okay, great. So you were able to say that in front of all of us and you didn't die. And none of us were like, what's your problem? We're like, yeah, we get it. We feel the same way. But then to go, I know then what motivates me. And that is knowing I want to hit that. I have that desire to hit that every single month, that consistency. That's something that you set for yourself. So you know what moves you into action. So Tamara, are you open to a suggestion?
Mhm.
Okay, so this is for all of us. This isn't just for Tamara, and I'd love to have somebody else be willing to share too, because when we work through these things individually, that can help all of us. So one of the things you can do to help your your last few days of the month feel like a piece of cake is to take that 600 goal and put it on the 15th.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit my 600 by the 15th. How cool would that be? And
Mhm.
then you're like, oh, I'm done by the 15th. Then the second half of the month, like you can end up with a 1200. You could end up with but it's just bumping that So your brain goes, oh, I'm making calls because I'm hitting my 600 by the 15th. So that's it. Just a switch for your brain. It's all getting our brain, like tricking our brain. You know, like if we tell our brain, oh, the month actually ends on the 15th. We do it for
Mhm.
star, right? The star deadline is always on the 15th.
Yep.
So just taking that and bumping it up. Some people work really well. Like they love that, like that feeling of like, okay, I only have a few hours left and it really gets them motivated. If that's not you, then you might want to think about, all right, I'm going to bump my goal up to the 15th because, and I'm not I am much better when I hit my goal early. I have much more joy and peace in my life. And we all just operate differently. It's not right or wrong. It's just how we are. So, okay. Thank you, Tamara. Anybody else want to share where they feel like it's the thing that they're like, oh, I really don't want to do it? Erin?
So I have noticed when I'm having a rough start to the month and I am needing some sales, it's hard for me to get going. But once I get one sale, even if it's an eye makeup remover or a lotion or something, that kind of helps me get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
So if I can put all my feelers out right away at the beginning of the month, and then I just keep touching base for reorders, because reorders seem to be what helps me get over my bump. And then I can worry about all my new customers and working on those leads. But it's just hard for me to sometimes get it going.
Mhm.
But it's just funny how that feeling of that one sale
Right.
can boost you enough to make you just want to do a little more that day.
Right.
Whereas if you don't get anything that day, you're ready to stop. But if you're like, oh, like right now I am sitting at, I have $105.
Mhm.
And I'm like, tonight I'm planning on reaching out some more tomorrow. And I mean, I'm going to get it and I'm not going to buy it myself.
Yep.
So,
Nope.
but I'm with Tamara. My goal has always been to get that prize or whatever the incentive at the end of each month, because we both want that watch. And I hope that watch is amazing because man, I'm working hard for it, but
Same.
it better be like a $5,000 watch, right?
All right. Amen.
I hope it doesn't break right away.
I love it. Well, and you know what I love about that is that ultimately we win in Mary Kay, everyone, no one loses at the price of someone winning. Like when you win, somebody else has won. You know, when you following up with your customers is offering great customer service. That's our job. Our job is to make sure our customers know about new products. Our job is to introduce new products to help our customers have a deep foundation of products. I was amazed after an event that we did locally. One of my customers, who's been my customer since I moved here, she's been my customer for 8 years. She had never tried satin lips. I'm like, how have I never shown her satin lips? And she's like, I need these satin lips. I'm like, okay, who else have I not shown satin lips to? You're like, just satin lips is like an amazing product. People try it and they want it. So thinking that our job is to make sure people use all Mary Kay, but they won't use it if they don't know about it. And so that is it's win-win. You know, when they leave with excited about a brand new product that has making a difference in their life and in their skin. This customer, it was actually for her husband. He had skin cancer on his lip, and where they took it off, it just got real dry and cracked. And so she was so excited to give this to her husband. So it's win-win. So when we hit that, whatever your target is, then you are serving people. And that can help us get out of our head too. When we remember, you guys, it's our job. And our job is to serve people. And we serve people by sharing and educating about our product and the opportunity. That is our job, right? Like that's our job. So when we have new catalogs, our job is to make sure our customers know about the new sunscreen that's mineral based. You know, that's our job, right? Like if you were hired, like if you were an employee of Mary Kay and you went to work, they would say, it's your job to make sure these 100 people know about skincare. And you can tell them however you want. You can get super creative. You can do something on social media. You can send them an email. You can send them a text message. You can call them on the phone. You can make a video on YouTube and send it out. Like, you guys, isn't that so cool? Like, Mary Kay isn't saying this is your job and this is how you have to do it. They're saying this is your job. And look at all of these creative ways we have that you can do your job. And you can do it as much as you want. You might have 100 people in front of you now, but you could go tell 100 more people. You can go out and go to stores tomorrow and meet people and pass out sunscreen samples. Like, isn't that exciting? Like, it's like we have the best job on the planet. We get to help share this with people, and you get to pick your lane. I think we are in Mary Kay at the most exciting time because there are so many ways to do our job. You know, we are all going to go through seasons where we might have to learn how to do our job one way because that's how it's going to fit into our life. And then we might have other seasons that you go, I'm going to try a different way of doing my job. So it's so exciting. And I love watching, we have such a creative group. I love watching how all of you do your jobs. And I love when you figure out how it's best for you and how you are just in your lane. And you know what, you guys, that's what God wants for us. He wants us to know ourselves, to know how he created us and be the best version of what he created us to be. And it's going to be unique to each of us. So we learn from each other, but we don't have to be duplicates of each other. And I love that. I absolutely love that. Anybody else want to share? Any places where you feel like, oh, that's where I get a little stuck, or things that help you go, and this is how I move into action. Anybody have any tips on how you get moved into action or motivated to move into action?
Nobody has anything. I'm going to share one thing. Mary Kay just started their TikTok account this past week. And Jessica and I have been really working together to try to figure out TikTok because we can't figure out what gets people looking at something and what doesn't at all. Like, you know, you start to figure out the algorithms on Facebook, and TikTok's just a whole new animal. But Mary Kay now has their official TikTok. So I expect that training, as they get accustomed to how they're going to use it, training will be coming for consultants for how to use that too. So I get that just fits into that. There's so many different ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we kind of challenged each other to try to make sure we post something every day and see how it does, and kind of track each other and see how those things are going. So
Yeah.
So sometimes having a buddy that you work with too
Yep.
is really helpful because that accountability.
Yeah. Yep. It is having somebody that if you have similar interests and how you're doing your job is awesome to have that. Absolutely. You know, one of the things that is common in all of the ways that we can do our job is the need for connection with people. So you want to think about how are you doing your job and how is that leading you to connection? Because that's what creates loyalty, is connection with people. And so you want to think about how is what I'm doing helping me connect and keeping them connected to me alone, right? Not just to the Mary Kay brand, but also to you. And that comes through relationships. And so all of these things that we have are such great tools. And then knowing, okay, my job is to build a relationship with this person. And that comes through asking them questions, being in a space where you can find out about them, find out about their kids, find out about the things I found out about the women that were at my party yesterday. Like, I know so much stuff about the 3 women that were at my party, like some hard stuff that they've gone through and some exciting things. And because we just spent time talking, and I want them to feel seen and heard when they leave my space. Because anytime somebody feels seen and heard, And when they've left your space, they want to come back to your space. Because we are living in a time where people don't feel seen and heard, and they are desperately trying to be seen and heard by screaming on social media and, you know, all of those things. So when we can give someone authentic connection, that is going to create a loyal customer and also going to create someone that is going to be open to hearing about the opportunity. So it is, it's so exciting, all the tools that are out there. Okay. All right. Well, we have just a few minutes left in our time together. I want to open it up. As you leave tonight, I want to hear some takeaways. What are you going to leave with tonight as you think about wrapping up here February and moving into March? What is a takeaway from you that is going to help you move into action? What's something that you heard or thought about or learned that's going to help you move into action to finish your February strong and start a great March? I want to hear your takeaways.
Just be bold and go and call my customers and just, you know, talk to them about, you know, the catalog. And let me just say one thing about the catalog. I paid 90 cents. That's it. And I just mailed one to a new customer with a note and her receipt, and it was $5 in the same state, just going from one city to like 35 miles away. I could have probably delivered it to her, but I couldn't because of my schedule. But $5, and every time it's like, boy, what Mary Kay does for us is amazing. So
thank you,
yeah.
Bernie. That is such a great reminder that we get these catalogs sent out with a note on the back,
Yeah,
stamp
90
on the inside, and all we have to
cents.
do is click,
And
click.
a
Yeah.
sample inside.
Yep. And it's a business expense, so it's a tax write-off. Like,
Yes, it is.
and people love catalogs. People love paper. People love, because we don't get these very much
Yes.
anymore. So yeah, so good. Thank you, Bernie. That was good. Other takeaways from tonight that you're going to leave with, like something that's going to help you move into action. Let me hear ya.
So I'm going to push that new sunscreen hard. I mean, hard. I've got a whole bunch of samples, because didn't you say they were
They're limited
like
edition.
limited?
Mhm.
So I've got a whole bunch of samples, and I've been sticking in with every order, and I've been anything online, I've been adding that. And if they didn't order some skincare, I'm putting that in there, but I'm really gonna push hard on that sunscreen. I just hope they don't like sell out and be out of stock for a while, because that's like my biggest nightmare. And then also I have been saying it for so long, but I am doing what Bernie said made me like put it on the #1 of my Mary Kay to-do list here. Check out the pirate shipping. I don't know why I don't do it, but Bernie, pirate shipping, I guarantee you won't be spending $5 to mail it.
Yep.
And Aaron Hildebrand told us about it maybe a year ago or more. And
Yeah.
I have just been
Probably.
sitting on that and talking about it, and I don't know why I don't do it. I don't know why.
It will.
Ladies, just open the account. It's free.
I
The account is
know.
free.
I know,
Buy a
Aaron, I
scale.
know.
The account is free.
And I want to kick myself every time I go to the post office, and I'm like, oh, I just need a scale, right? That's all I need, right?
When you get on Amazon. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I'm ordering it
Printer.
right now.
right now.
If you have a
on my
printer
phone,
that
yeah.
prints paper, then you should be fine.
Yeah. Awesome. And ladies, that sunscreen, this is a great time of year to share that sunscreen. And that's our job, is to help people know about that. Anybody else? Any other takeaways from tonight? You guys, what are you excited about? What are you, when you think about, like, here, we had Kelly Collins. You guys, tell me something that you're taking away from tonight. I have to know, like, this is a big deal. You know who didn't hear from Kelly Collins tonight? Everybody else in Mary Kay. Oh my gosh, you guys, I want you to grasp what a giant deal that is. It's a giant deal for the Rise and Shine unit. It is a giant deal that you guys pushed through and you got that goal done, because if you hadn't hit that last one, this would not have happened. You have an amazing leader. We have a corporate staff that is willing to fly in to have dinner with somebody that achieved a goal. Like, I want you to understand how incredible our company is that we get that kind of support. Every time Faith hit a goal, she got $1,000 bonus. What new job are you going to get that? What new job are they going to be like, yeah, I'm going to fly in, we're going to take you out to dinner. Like, that's amazing. If you can't think of anything, I hope you go to bed tonight really excited about what Mary Kay is doing for us. Of course, there's struggles with product, that is still supply chain related. And because Mary Kay would never, ever, ever put us in a position where we would have to wait for product like we would have to wait. Their stomachs hurt every time they have to tell us that we don't have eyeliners yet. Their stomachs are, I'm certain of it. And so I know for myself, and what I hope for all of you, that we never lose just the amazement of the opportunity that we have. So I love all of you. I'm so proud of you for the ways that you serve and the ways that you do your jobs with creativity and integrity and such a strong work ethic. And I'm excited to see how we wrap up February. And as we move into the final 4 months of this year, they can be like none other. And when your brain switches and you get into that space of just gratitude and desire to serve, anything's possible. So, all right, ladies, well, let's call the night. I'll see you Michigan people on Saturday. And I will be texting Michigan group. I will send you a text message tomorrow with details about the weekend. And everybody else, will see you back here next Monday. Have a great week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.